What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Welcome to the MG Show. I just really quick want to start off before I welcome my partner in justice in here. I just want to make sure that people that do follow Q are realizing what this post here says. The Great Awakening. You are the news now. Handle with care. So my question is, are you handling with care? And by the way, this is Soul Memes. This is our friend that sadly passed away. Right here, media is complicit, treason, and they are. But are you handling with care? I hope you're handling with care because I've seen a lot of crappy decodes out there. Shady Grove, come on in.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you guys for being here on Monday after an amazing weekend that we had honoring the life of Charlie Kirk. And actually, Jeff, I felt like I was at a revival yesterday. Yeah. I felt like I was watching the youth of America pick up the mantle that my generation, the generation before me, and the generation after me decided not to pick up. Well, the young guys out there, they're picking up that mantle, and it doesn't really matter what we think on some level.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting too. It was important for me to actually watch this with Mama Matrix. Look at this, Shady Grove.
Look at her.
Look at her.
Oh, she's so beautiful. Look how far she's come.
And that hat is made in America for all the people that say they're made in China. Just want to let you guys know that too. But that's Mama Matrix. We had a really good time watching it. And I tell you, I watched it from beginning to end, Shady.
Well, I actually listened to most of it. I had the opportunity yesterday to go take a nice ride around the southern Oregon area of Medford, Ashland, and Central Point, where we got together. We went out with the truck and our American flags and a whole bunch of people, and we drove in a caravan or a parade, kind of like a parade with our hazard lights on. We drove right through Ashland, Oregon, and I will have to report to you that we got some middle fingers out there. We got some thumbs down out there. People not very excited about the idea of driving through an American town with American flags on your vehicle. It's very interesting, and you can clearly see, guys, who the gargoyles are in your society now, and they stretch from the boomer generation all the way down to yours.
Wow, man, I tell you, it
was great though.
People are insane, and you know what? This is separating the wheat from the chaff, Shady Grove. Seriously,
it really is.
In our movement as well. Yep. I want to just make sure that I am not a part of any of these fake Q decoders. Okay, I am me. Myself, you, and yourself, and we are standing up for the bullshit, Shady. I mean, did you see people giving Miss Erica Kirk a hard time because she said the "I love you" sign language? Now she's an Illuminati priestess. I mean, it's beyond disgusting, guys. You are the news now. Handle with care. I know maybe the truth doesn't get a lot of clicks, but come on, man.
No, the truth doesn't get any clicks. If you've not noticed anything over the last 3 or 4 weeks, let's go back since this whole Epstein thing kind of started running downstream. Since about then, you started to realize that, there's a clear difference between conspiracy people or conspiracy theorists and truthers. People that are actually looking for the truth, people who put their foundation on the truth. Bill Cooper, unfortunately, I guess for us, gave me the solid foundation to understand what it meant to prove something. And once you prove something, to articulate it and explain it to other people and show them how you've proven it. That's the way that this is supposed to operate, but it seems like that people have a different idea.
Yeah. And I want you guys to pay very close attention to the week of September 21st, to the 25th, track and follow events running red. So here's what we got coming up today at 4 p.m. Well, 21st, we had Charlie Kirk's Great Awakening revival. That was amazing, by the way. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got Trump speaking at the UN, but today at 4 p.m., he's going to be talking about the autism shots, guys, or the autism issue. And that is very, very close to the president, guys. In fact, if you guys remember Q, Jeremiah 29:11 is very personal to P. What was it? Let me just get the actual. Here it is right here. Trump says today will be the biggest announcement medically in the history of the U.S. I think we found an answer to autism. This is personal to the president. P, personal. We are with you. No one left behind. For God and country. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Protect 6/14/46. Protect 6/14/46. That's Trump's birthday. Q plus. JD.
I think today is going to be the beginning of a whole new conversation, and I so welcome it, Jeff. I so welcome the conversation to move forward, because it's been, since you've been alive, since I've been alive, it's been stuck in the corner. The conversation, they do not allow you to talk. Whenever we talk about Charlie Kirk and we talk about what America is supposed to be about dialogue. And the idea that, you can say that, oh, because this person is a doctor, then they have more proof or more information than this person who actually is showing you concrete evidence of something just because they don't have a degree behind their name. We have to get rid of that filter. That is the filter that they've put over us to make us think that because someone has a title beside their name, that they are somehow the end all be all of information. Are they experts? Yes. Do they know a lot of information? Yes. Are they always right? No. And so I think that what Donald Trump is going to talk about today, and RFK, I think it's going to affect every single American.
Yeah.
99% of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to, did you see General Flynn there at the memorial too? Wow, he really gave a great speech, didn't he?
No, he was not invited to Charlie Kirk's memorial.
Oh, because these fake Q influencers, Beer at the Parade is Scott Zimmerman. Scott Zimmerman is actually a Flynnian, and he even has the, if you look at that logo, that's the Intel agency's logo, okay? The Flynn Network is making ridiculous connections, false decodes. They're saying that 11.3 is first Kirk, then Cutler. The marker, 11.3? No, it's not. All right?
Holy crap.
Unfollowed, guys. I am so tired. MJ Truth is also saying the same thing, and there are others. I am so tired of the disrespect. So disrespectful.
Wow, guys. That right there is... That makes you want to put down the internet, doesn't it, guys? I mean, really, if you're really, what are you going to take home from this? If you can't, and let's, I'm not going to delve into it. God bless Boone Colors family. God bless everybody to him. But there's some weird stuff going on over there with them putting out something that said General Flynn was there when he had a heart attack the other day, and now they're acting like something else happened and it wasn't a heart attack. So what's going on there? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. We're going to move past it, but we will cover it when we find out.
But that is not the QD code. Again, I'm simply trying to show people how the false Q decoders are infiltrating Q.
You made a perfect point. Thank you.
Thank you. But I'm with you on that. Prayers for Boone Cutler's family. I mean, we're not here to ridicule any of that. We're here to ridicule the stupid ass decodes.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got 2 posts, Shady Groove. September 21st. Track and follow events, guys. Right there. Running red. Q. Okay. And then there's this one here. Equal justice under the law as written. Transparency, disclosure, and accountability. Justice is the only way forward. Future of our republic at stake. Watergate times 1,000. September 14th through 18th. September 21 through 25. Track and follow events. Did Kevin Cork, set his alarm. And by the way, Shady, Trump's going to be speaking at the... Okay, let's go back. Charlie Kirk's memorial. Trump spoke there. Okay, amazing. Today at 4 o'clock, he's going to be talking about autism and the links towards and how we get autism. And then he's speaking at the UN. And then I hear that criminal indictment could be coming to Comey this week. There's a lot. And you saw Trump saying, let's get these. We need justice, guys. We need justice. And it looks like we're getting to that phase, Shady.
I think that we are getting to that phase. And whenever, I'd like to temper my audience with don't hold expectations. Part of the reason that you find yourself in these high and low frequency ranges of high and down and wave and up and low is because you hold expectations. What we want is equal justice under the law, and we want people who can be proven guilty to have their day in court, okay? Whenever everybody talks about, I want to have it, like, just because you get someone arrested doesn't mean that they're guilty. America, God bless America. We love America. We're here on the air every day fighting for America. What does that mean? I am fighting for every single person in the country to be innocent until proven guilty. Okay? This pitchfork vigilante mindset that a lot of you have taken on is a lot of weight. I'm telling you. Imagine yourself like you're the train pulling cars where you're adding weight going up over the hill. You're adding expectation. Whenever you have all that expectation on your train cars going down the other side, it starts to push you. And it pushes you into caveats of thought that you wouldn't normally get into because you've got all this expectation back here. Take the expectation off your train, realize that there is no expectation other than everybody in America is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And once they are guilty in a court of law, justice is served. That's what we all really want at the core of it. Can I get a 47 for all of work that we've done for Donald Trump for the last 8 years? If that's what you would like to see, you're not about a vigilante pitchfork justice system that resembles the KKK.
Yeah. Real quick, people are posting this, and I just want to, I might need to. Shady Groove. So this is not true, guys. This is from Toria. FBI Director James Comey is expected to receive criminal indictment within a week, according to NBC. NBC News has not reported that former FBI Director Comey is expected to receive a criminal indictment this week. The claim appears to originate from an account on social media. X, the user post has been accurately identified as false. So just stay tuned, guys.
It's out there.
We need to have indictments in order to have arrests. It's how the system works.
But also, people are putting stuff just like this right here. It looks like people are putting stuff in the news to heighten expectations so that you are let down at some point also. This is the reason that we don't make assumptions and we don't jump to rash conclusions. All of these rash conclusions that are being jumped to. For instance, this whole thing about Charlie Kirk being shot and the bullet and the things that Kash Patel has said this weekend. What Kash Patel wrote to us this weekend, I think, was the greatest thing I've never. Did you ever think? Go back to the J. Edgar Hoover days or any other time of the FBI. Did you ever think that you would hear the FBI explain to you that they are unsure of things and then give you an itemized list of what it is that they're investigating? Let me explain something to you. Because Kash gave everybody this list, and I think we're going to read this to you here in a second. I know I'm preempting it, but because he gave us that list, Jeff, the people that are guilty of anything that might be on that list are going to start to flip out in public. And then all of a sudden you see the whole InfoWars network start to flip out in public. Alex Jones even responded to me this weekend, calling him a lying liar and saying he doesn't have any White House contact. He said, right. So
Yeah.
the whole network is losing their mind after Cash said, we're going to start looking into these Discord servers. We're going to start looking into this 764 thing. We're going to start looking into geo-fencing of their cell phone locations while they're making their dumb little posts online.
Yeah.
That's what he said, and then they started losing their marbles.
So let's look at this. Shady Groove, as the director of the FBI, this is FBI Director Kash Patel. I am committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has emerged, but our efforts extend beyond initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices, the text message confession, and related conversation, Discord chats, the angle of the shot, and the bullet impact, and how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10th, 2025. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus is to complete the investigation and deliver justice. To protect the integrity of the investigation and subsequent prosecution, we cannot release every piece of information we have to the public right now. We will ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate time. Regarding the specific details, such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off its transponder after departing from an airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot and the consultation with the FAA, we determined the transponder was not turned off. Incomplete flight data in rural areas caused the apparent gap. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served, and our investigation into this assassination will continue until every question is answered. So basically, Shady, he responded to all the frickin' trolls out there, didn't he?
He did. And he responded directly to them and told them that we are looking at all of these inconsistencies that you are seeing. And even there, the MJ guys all screaming and yelling about the guy that took the video. Why is he back there taking the video camera down? Because he took the video camera down so that he could give it to the FBI so that they could analyze it because they requested it. Guys, he's messing with the crime scene. You don't know anything. You don't know anything that you're not told. All these people are making things up around an extremely visual event. This is the conspiracy theorist dream because they're just milking it for every ounce of clicks they can get out of it.
Yeah. They're watching X, and they're probably not happy with a lot of the people. Now, again, I'm going to go back to this. Are you handling with care, Shady Groove? The Great Awakening. You are the news now. Handle with care, guys. Please. And does that mean we can't question? No. But I'm seeing posts that are acting like they're fact. If you are questioning things, use a question mark. All right? You get it, right? It's very simple.
They're not using question marks, man.
No.
These people are not using question marks. They're making statements. They're making statements of facts. They're trying to say all kinds of crazy stuff. The whole thing. Can I go through the thing with the bullet real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
We understand we had a message that was released by Mr. Kovat or Kovair, I can't remember how to say his last name, very close friend of Charlie Kirk, who explained that the surgeon and how the stuff went down, the bullet, there was not an exit wound, okay? This is going to be, it's going to take me a second to explain this to you. There was not an exit wound from a rifle round. Very unusual. I will agree with you. Very unusual thing. But this is what it looks like to happen. A lot of the times whenever you have you're shooting or you have a shooting practice, you have a rifle, you practice, you go out, you buy very, very cheap ammunition so that you practice with it. Practice ammunition comes with low grain, low velocity, and actually made of inconsistent materials. Okay. So whenever you analyze this, and I went and I did a grok analysis of the type of what would be considered. What would be the, how would substandard ammunition perform in a situation like this at 200 yards? And it very clearly said on heavier bones, femurs, spine, the bullet may fragment or could even lodge, especially if it expends much of its energy expanding into the soft tissue first. The SST jacket is not bonded, so it can shed fragments on hard impact, reducing the likelihood of a clean pass-through. So effectively, what it also said was that substandard ammunition will fall between 6 to 8 inches over the course of a 200-yard distance. So it looks to me like what happened was that he was using practice ammunition or cheap ammunition that he probably had laying around and didn't know the difference, because that's what his dad probably used, was cheap ammunition to practice hunt with. That ammunition, the reason that it hit him in the neck was because Tyler was aiming for a headshot. And over the 200 yards, he wasn't anticipating the bullet to drop. The bullet dropped and hit Charlie in the neck, and it looks like the bullet actually lodged into the center of the spine, not exiting the back of the spine, which could have effectively hurt somebody else had it been a larger capacity round. That is a real possibility. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying that is a very, very real possibility for all the people that are putting out all the videos of what a 30-06 does, because those videos are real. That is what good 30-06 ammunition will do, but it is not what bad 30-06 ammunition will do.
Yeah. And, it's like, let's just wait till the, question everything, right? Got it. I'm going to get in trouble for, saying that you're not quite, but I'm just getting sick of the ridiculousness. There's a palm gun. There's just all these stupid decodes, guys. I mean, but Shady, well done. Well said. And just, I don't know. I want to honor the family of Charlie Kirk and Erica. I don't want to disparage them. And I guess, we're not getting the clicks we need to.
I told them, we promised them that we were going to talk to them about the truth, that we weren't going to bring them all the clicks. If we wanted to talk about the clicks, we could have JFK Jr.'d you a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay. If we wanted to talk about the clicks, we could have been, we could have gotten right there on the Alex Jones, Ivan Rankler train, InfoWars train.
They wanted us there.
They invited us all. They invited us there. They wanted us there, and we refused them. So this is our path. And there aren't that many, the people that are following this show are the most red-pilled people on earth. I stand by it.
So here's somebody that apparently looks like they're in our movement. Why are there fireworks at a memorial service for Charlie Kirk? This is WWE script. Because our staff loves the effect. They see it as one of our event signatures, and most importantly, Charlie loved it. We do not grieve the way the world grieves. We refuse to let the evil that killed Charlie rob us of our joy in remembering his incredible life and legacy.
And there you have it. That's what I meant earlier when I said the new young generation is picking up the mantle. It ain't about how you used to do things. It's about how they're going to do things. And the way that they're going to do things is that was the biggest turning point event ever. 100,000. Oh, Jeff, they said last night that there was over 200,000 people on site, like inside, outside, 200,000 people, and that their broadcast through all platforms reached well over 100 million people. Think about that. It's like, Jeff, whenever they said the revolution was not going to be televised, nobody really thought they meant revival, did they?
No. A great awakening, essentially, guys.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So it was press 47 if you guys really enjoyed that turning point, if you watched it and enjoyed it. There were some speakers that I didn't care for, but everybody was pretty much decent. They didn't Tucker Carlson didn't run out and say it's the Jews like he's been doing.
He kind of did. Poso did too.
He kind of did, and Poso did. I didn't. Poso was angry. Everybody else was all loving and kind. Poso came out there like he wanted to start the Crusades, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Tucker actually did. He said he kind of acted like the Jewish priests who killed Jesus were still alive. So he did go off the rail a little bit.
The good news is look at the wall-to-wall coverage, Shady Groove.
That is the good news.
Look at that.
God bless Erica Kirk.
Yeah.
What a strong woman. Could you go out there in a stage of 100,000 people and forgive the guy that just murdered your husband about a week and a half ago? You want to talk about a strength? You want to talk about building character and courage? I think that her becoming the leader of Turning Point may be the greatest thing we have ever seen.
My God, Shady. Here.
It's going to be huge, man. She's going to turn it into something enormous.
That man, that young man, I forgive him.
But it wasn't him that did it, right? It was the Jews.
Oh, no, he's still alive.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. Yeah. He's still out there. Like, he decided he was going to go to the island with Michael Jackson and Elvis.
Yeah. And also, people are looking at a Kim Clement prophecy calling her Esther.
I'm not touching that one.
I'm not touching it either. I'm just everybody needs clickbait, I guess.
It's like, you can't. I guess you can have it both ways, can't you?
I guess.
Okay. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So you're saying that she's a Mason because she says "I love you," and then she's Esther.
You caught that.
I did.
Okay.
I did. So this is so well said. I think you were alluding to this. It was a comment, I think, to one of your posts. Are you seeing how people use conspiracy as a path to confusion now? If they aren't looking for the truth to right the past, then what are they really doing? C. Page says, when were confused before, the conspiracy theorists and the truthers blended in together. Now that we have truth clarified and amplified, the conspiracy theorists stand out like a sore thumb. These people could seriously hide their own Easter eggs.
What a great comment.
I love it.
They hide their own Easter eggs. Bravo.
That is like one of the best comments. You win the internet. You win the internet.
She won the internet for like a week on that one.
Yeah, she did. Thank you for that. And I we're having difficult conversations, and to mock the death of Charlie Kirk is not what I want to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of that going on, my friend.
Yeah.
And it's under the guise of, we're just trying to get to the bottom of it. We're just questioning things. You got to have something to question before you can question things.
Yeah.
There has to be a question first.
It has to be a question instead of
make it up out of nothing.
Oh, and by the way, there was a newspaper that said Kash Patel was not at the, that is Kash Patel. Yep. There was a newspaper saying Kash Patel didn't make the thing, because they're trying to make it all bad, right?
Wow,
Kash Patel did make it. Thank you for pointing that out to me. That was DQ. Thank you for that. But I wanted to go over this because this is actually a, Q proof, guys. I read you the text, but, tomorrow will be the biggest announcement today at 4 p.m., okay? I think we found an answer to autism. And the Q post, President Personal, we are with you. No one left behind for God and country. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Listen to this, Shady.
And tomorrow we're going to have one of the biggest announcements, really medically, I think, in the history of our country. We're going to be doing it with Bobby and Oz and all of the professionals. I think you're going to find it to be amazing. I think we found an answer to autism. How about that? Autism. Tomorrow we're going to be talking in the Oval Office in the White House about autism.
Wow. And this is personal. I'm not sure if it's a true thing or anything, but one of the theories is that, Barron could have like Asperger's or something like that to that effect. So I don't know. Can't confirm. But God bless President Trump for wanting to get to the bottom of this.
And irregardless, Melania did sue them for trying to claim that. But regardless of any of that, the reality of the situation is none of us are absent connected to this issue. And, Q did mention 99% of the people in the hospital. Like the only thing that you can really connect 99% of us to is vaccination schedules. Regardless of what is spoken about here today, all of us have been gaslit on both sides of the issue. Are all vaccines bad? No. Are some of them bad? Yes. Does this issue make that any difference? Not really. What we want to do is we want to get to the truth of it about autism. What we want to see is a year click by where the percentage of young boys and girls who have autism goes down. In other words, instead of it being 1 in 10 boys, it's 1 in 20. Okay, that's the number going down, effectively going up back to closer to 1 in 10,000 children getting autism, which is what RFK Jr. Points back to.
Yeah, and by the way, remember the conspiracy videos about he's wearing a bulletproof vest? Well, that's debunked too.
I do. You wouldn't believe how many posts I made this weekend about that exact issue. There was no evidence that Charlie Kirk was wearing a bulletproof vest. But let me even take it a step further, Jeff. You're telling me that they make bulletproof vests that bullets bounce off of at 200 yards?
Yep.
I'm going to.
Well, let's take it even a step farther. This is during dinner. Erica begged her husband to start wearing a bulletproof vest, and when he refused, the friend suggests he speak from behind bulletproof glass. Not yet, Erica recalled Kirk replying before he added that he felt confident in his security team that it would be additional security at Utah Valley event. Guys, he didn't wear a vest. How about that?
And bullets don't bounce off of bulletproof vests. If they
and he didn't wear one.
He didn't. They don't work very good. And Jeff, you know what I thought about whenever I saw that statement yesterday? I thought that how would that affect the message? Would Charlie Kirk putting up bulletproof glass or putting on a bulletproof vest muddle or distort his message? Because to some degree, whenever you're out there, you have to be good faith, right? Jesus talked in good faith. We should all talk in good faith. We should not, if we talk in fear, if we talk to someone who we're afraid of that are going to harm us, then we've already kind of lost that conversation, haven't we? So there's a purity, a level of purity, in my opinion, my opinion about what Charlie Kirk was doing that hit the mark because he wasn't wearing a vest, and it hit the mark because he didn't have bulletproof glass in front of him.
Okay. Now everybody's arguing about Esther. Erica Kirk is not Esther, guys. I'm sorry. Lord. Okay. Yes, I know the story. I understand it. Quit this. Just quit it.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to abstain. I don't really know how to fill in right now. I'm going somewhere. We're going to say that we love you. God bless each and every one of you. We are all on our path of discernment into truth.
Yeah. And I love you all. And because we don't agree, that's okay. That's what America's about, isn't it? Right?
Yes, sir.
I don't agree with you. I think it's ridiculous. But you can believe whatever you want to believe.
Absolutely.
Until then, we'll see you when you wake up. All right, Shady Groove. Don't know if you saw this, but we're waiting for 1 o'clock here. We got a show to do here, I guess.
Well, I like the show, by the way, and I like the idea that we have been, right now we are currently coming around on the fall season of season 7 of the MG show, and all of us together here have been through something. And I've, a matter of fact, I got a couple amazing messages this weekend from a couple of people who've just really started following the show within the last few months, and spectacular reviews of what's going on with what we're doing here, and also with the what we're uncovering on our Friday premium content. Because each week, and again last week it happened, it opens up so much of your mind to recognize how this control system is it's like it's a virus. There's really no other way. I don't think that you can analogize it other than it is a virus that has infected the whole structure of the political and economic system. And without a quote unquote paradigm shift of a person like Donald Trump coming back and reassessing and reorganizing the playing field, we would have never been able to navigate.
Yeah. Without this. And you know, that's why we're like, look at this, Shady Grove, 6:44 p.m. on 9/20/25. Justice must be served now. Okay. And that's where we got the Justice must be served now, September 20th, September 21st, September 21 to 25 track and follow events. Okay.
An actual connection.
Yeah, an actual connection, guys. Now, thank you to Torch, but I wanted to actually. People were freaking out at these, by the way. Pam Bondi. So let's read this, okay?
Oh, here we go.
I've reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially the same old story as last time. All talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican past, a woke rhino who is never going to do his job. That's why 2 of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him. And there is a great case, and many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsey Halligan is really a good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now, President DJT. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, Pam Bondi, scam blondie, blah, 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 blah. And then about, 30 minutes later,
He gave him a little
an
run.
hour later, Pam Bondi is doing a great job as Attorney General of the United States. She is very careful, very smart, loves our country, but needs a tough prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia. Like my recommendation, Lindsey Halligan, to get things moving. What we don't need is a Democrat-endorsed Republican. I will be nominating Lindsey Halligan to be the United States attorney in this very important part of our great country. She will be fair, smart, and will provide desperately needed justice for all.
This is amazing to watch. This is amazing to watch how Donald Trump is taking center stage, and he's being the elephant in the room, if you will. He's being the bully in the china, or the bull in the china shop, if you will. This is awesome because what he's doing is he's spending political capital. We've talked about that on this show a number of times, how Donald Trump is willing to spend political capital to say, I don't care what the mainstream media says. He's luring them in, sucking them in so that they come writing all this crazy nonsense, and he's luring all these people on our side in that are coming in to start attacking Pam Bondi. And then whenever the hammer drops, a lot of the people that were acting like, oh, he's not doing anything, are going to be the ones under the microscope.
That's true. Shady, real quick, let's just get this out of the way. It is a commercial. Hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave, from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays. Don't miss a moment of the exciting catch, every snap, every tackle, every victory. Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on NFL app, on WestwoodOneSports.com, via Westwood One station streams, or by asking ALEXA to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One.
Man, there's so much stuff going on also around our theory about this whole thing with Bondi or this whole thing with like Epstein and the money laundering. Like there is now we're starting to see a few other different connections, by the way, that are coming out about what they're talking about. And it's just very interesting the way that the Democrats completely pivoted to say, oh, we'll give the Epstein files. And then Blumenthal was up there last week telling this to Cash. And Cash is like, listen, bro, you go over there and you convince those judges to unseal their dumb cases, and we're more than welcome to hand it to you, friend. But those cases are sealed because of those judges and because of the agreements the victims and the perpetrators made.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, dude. They have nothing, bro. They have nothing. And I think Donald Trump has full confidence in Pam Bondi. And I think that what he is doing right now in public is he's showing the public how you are, as the president, are supposed to move your cabinet.
Yeah. And by the way, too, like, going back to the memorial Super Bowl level protection, it did make the Super Bowl look like the Puppy Bowl, didn't it, yesterday, guys? Wasn't that awesome?
It was awesome, man.
Wow. Sorry, I just said.
No, it was an amazing event to see 200,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
200,000 people on site.
Wow.
I mean, it's like we knew of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was, around. Charlie didn't really. He didn't understand any of the stuff about 9/11. There was a number of other things that I felt Charlie Kirk was skipping over, that students that would bring to him. A number of times I saw students bring information to him that he would completely dismiss that was actually real information. So, here or there of any of that, he inspired people to plug in. This was the thought I was having, Jeff. Then tell me what you think about this. I'm just going to throw this out there to you real quick. Before, we had everybody thought the same thing. So if you think about what I'm saying, everybody thought the same thing. In other words, the news media controlled everybody's mind. And so pretty much the problem was we were trying to get people to understand things that they couldn't understand because everybody thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a situation where nobody is thinking anything. Think about that. Like reality has been liquefied. Everybody is thinking something different. Nobody is thinking the same thing. So in all reality, as confusing, as crazy as it is, the situation that we're in right now, I'd much rather be in a situation where everybody is out there doing this and not thinking the same thing as I was when everybody was exactly thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said.
Even though it's a pain to navigate.
Wow. And then, we've been talking about Arabella Advisors, just like everybody else thinking the same thing. Oh, wait, nobody's talking about
No. I wasn't talking about that. Not that.
Oh, gotcha.
No.
Listen to this, Shady Groove. Check this out.
That's the other thing. They have signs and they're all professionally made. Real protesters make them in their basement. And they're all the same.
So who's behind it? Do you have a gut feeling?
You hear Soros. I don't know. We're going to find out if he's behind it. But it's incitement to riot. That's a criminal act. And people are dying because of it. So it's really, it's death. So we're gonna find out, and it should have been done a long time ago.
Boom. We know who it is. You guys know exactly who it is. Arabella Advisors, George Soros, all of the different, 1630 fund, all of those funds with Arabella Advisors funding this, all the billionaires, all assets, foreign and domestic, were being deployed, guys. They all have foundations and institutes for a reason. Stupid, Shady.
And it also has to do with the way that they've been able to utilize the 501c4 gap to bring in foreign money and acquire property, territory, real estate, all of these different aspects of what these NGOs have been doing through people like Patrick Byrne and General Flynn. What are they really doing? How are they feeding the money into groups like Oath Keepers and 3%ers and Proud Boys? How are they doing that? How are they feeding the beast? This is the way that they're feeding the beast. We get to the crux of it. The key that unlocks the door of all doors, in my opinion, would be to unlock who is giving money through these 501c4s. That is not information that is unknown. That is information that could be known, but it is hidden. It could be forced to be known. If we were to adjust that small thing right there, we would open up a Pandora's box of who is funding the destruction of America. Look at him.
We told them, we said, you fucked around. Now you're going to find out. We told them, we said.
It's true.
And that is a Design Pro meme. Apparently, he got kicked off X. I'm sorry about that, my friend. So go to Telegram, t.me/MG show. He'll be in there if you want to continue getting these amazing memes from this amazing patriot, Shady.
That really sucks. Hopefully they get that straightened out.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully you can get that. What else do we got, Shady? Let's go back. Okay, so President Trump did post something pretty funny. We're looking at the Convention of States, guys. This is actually giving power back to the people. This is posted by Donald J. Trump right here. Convention of the States effort surges as Trump aims at shrinking the size scope of federal government. This is giving power back to the people. Let's look. This is the first time I've heard him talk about it. He last term he said that it wasn't ready. We're not going to do Convention of States, but look at this. This is posted today by President Donald J. Trump. Convention of States efforts surge as Trump aims at shrinking size scope of federal government. The Convention of States would allow states to propose constitutional amendments to limit federal power, potentially reshaping the balance of governance in the U.S., Shady.
Music to MG Show's ears.
This is a movement to give the power back to you, the people. Remember the video that got Donald Trump elected? Here you go. News is unlocking map in this regard, Shady.
And it's getting ready to set the precedent for the way that we move forward so that there is no longer a possibility of this slow slide into communism or into whatever ism that you want to take. These people are lunatics. And the only reason that they've been able to do what they're currently able to do is because of illegal funding and bribery and blackmail. So take out these people's ability to stay in there for 30 or 40 years, and you will literally clean up 80% of the problem.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, and we talked about that with a number of times here, and Q explained to you by term limits many times.
Yeah. And by the way, this is anti-fascist. They're burning the American flag. This is Q Post here talking insurgency can be defined as organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. Domestic terrorism, guys. Hey, Antifa is now a domestic terrorist organization, Shady.
And I'd like to throw a few facts at our great audience about this real quick that everybody out there seems to be getting wrong. Okay, I'm going to give you some. There's this prove me wrong moment. Okay, number one, fascism Where was there actually ever fascism? What country was there really fascism? Was there more than one? Do you know what country? Do you know what the definition of fascism is? That's the first thing that I'd like to say to you. Do you know, guys? Do you know? And second thing, do you know where Antifa started? Where did Antifa start? 90% of you will think it started in Germany. That is actually not true. Antifa was organized in Russia, or the old USSR, as an infiltration in Germany directed at the Nazi Party. Okay, this was the Russians trying to undermine the Nazi Party in Germany. That's where Antifa got its start. So it's very, very interesting how they've been able to morph this whole thing and spin it around. And the reality of the situation is, I can't see the difference between what the people that are Antifa and the nutty people that are pro-Palestine that are occupying Columbia University and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. You guys, it's the same thing. Yeah. Ivan Raiklin, General Flynn, they're doing the same thing. How can we connect General Flynn to Antifa? Yeah. Through these networks? Oh, wait, the Antifa, no, they're the ones that are weaponizing and dressing up like furries and becoming the Tyler Robinsons. Oh, wait, is there a connection there? Huh. Thesis, antithesis. What you're seeing here is a liquefaction of reality. Fascism hails from Italy.
Yep. Where did you go?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a cold leave.
Oh my God. And I want to also address this. Esther Symbolic. I love you guys. You know a lot, but you do seem to know much about prophetic. That's okay. You're educated in what we need to know. Stay away from poo-pooing prophecy. I'm poo-pooing the fake decode that Erica is Esther. What's wrong with that? I mean, I think that's a stretch. Don't you? Maybe not. Anyways, what's that Q post about prophecy, Shady Grove, that Q did?
It's something about like, I'm not a prophet, you're not a prophet.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes.
Something like that. We're not prophets.
How do you spell prophet? P-R-O-F?
P-R-O-P-F. P-R-O-P-H-E-T.
P-H-E-T. I don't know why I could spell it right earlier. Be aware of false prophets. I am not a prophet. You are not a prophet. We are not prophets. Focus on the mission. Can we do that? Can we just focus on the mission here on the MG show?
I am focused. Laser focused.
Laser focused.
I just explained to everybody where Antifa came from. I told you where fascism came from, and I explained to you how all the numbnuts got it wrong.
I know, right? I'm not a prophet. You're not a prophet.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Together we're not prophets. I'm not poo-pooing anybody. Guys, go do your Kim stuff. This is we focus on Q, not other people. You know, I understand where you guys are coming from, but I'm going to get upset. But you guys can believe whatever you want to believe. Love you. Now, there is another funny post because we focus on the mission here. I'm getting us in trouble like big time today. But we found
for the course.
Top secret. We caught the Venezuelan militia in training. A very serious threat, Shady. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Is that one of the people in the boats?
That is the boat.
They're riding. The rest of them are getting in. Wow. They imported that from America.
That's a very serious threat, Shady.
I mean, that could like literally, you know, if you were like drop it into the pool, it could drown everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Wow.
I had not seen that video, sir. I am actually now concerned that I'm this close to the West Coast.
I know, dude. You look at those people. They look very well trained, very well funded.
They're going to be storming the beaches of Portland.
I love it, guys. So we are going to be waiting for the press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, to go ahead and give her press briefing. We haven't had one in a while, so it'll be good to see her again. We know that at 4 p.m. today in the Oval Office, we're going to be talking about autism. Wow. But I wanted to post this. Check this out.
And the angels cry, holy, all creation cry, holy,
we shared a special moment. It was so gracious of them to produce something like that. A lot of people wouldn't want to share that moment with the world. And, I think that the most remarkable thing was the number of people from the Trump administration who attribute some portion of the success of their communications or interactions or interrelationship communications with Donald Trump with Charlie Kirk. We heard it from JD. We heard it from RFK. You saw Elon Musk was there. Elon came and sat down next to Donald Trump. You're seeing something on the world stage right now. You're seeing something that the world can't fight. Do you understand what I'm saying about that? The world can't fight us on this. You can't be fought on good. You can't be fought on what is right. What you can fight over is what's wrong. And so if everybody's wrong, then you can constantly be fighting about it. But if something is right, if something is good, if something is real, there's not a whole lot to fight about.
It was so amazing. Go ahead. We had bad sound on that, but I'm going to go ahead and play another clip. Will you mute real quick while I play this clip? Clip. Here we go. President Trump.
Today, Charlie Kirk rests in glory in heaven for all eternity. He has gone from speaking on campuses in Wisconsin to kneeling at the throne of God, where he is right now. We grieve for the friend and leader that we have lost, but we go forward strengthened by his faith and bolstered by his courage and inspired by his example to defend the country he lived for the freedoms he died for, and the values in which he so deeply believed. He believed in values that we should all believe in.
Yeah, amen.
He did.
He did. And he did. And
none of us are going to get it right all the time.
No, that is true. Let me just see real quick. Oh, here we go. I wanted to play this as well because this is a spiritual reawakening. Shady?
Perhaps it should be no surprise that Charlie, who spent his life speaking with the...
Can't see.
What?
Can't see.
Okay, mute.
Okay,
here we go. I'll show you and you mute. Here we go.
Perhaps it should be no surprise that Charlie, who spent his life speaking with the critics of these traditions, ultimately became convinced that we needed not just a political realignment, but also a spiritual reawakening. We did. And we have to bring back religion to America, because without borders, law and order, and religion, you really don't have a country anymore. We want religion brought back to America. We want to bring God back into our beautiful USA like never before. We want God back. Charlie would have been so pleased to hear his friends and colleagues today giving testimony and giving glory to God.
Wow. Amazing. That was just, it's just all coming back because I watched the whole thing, Shady. It was so amazing. It is a great awakening, guys. God bless you all.
I think that his words yesterday were so comforting in a time of complete and utter sadness, to lift us all up and to move the conversation forward. And he did that beautifully.
He really did, and, he died, the bullet wasn't just aimed at Charlie. It was aimed at every single one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think,
and it said catch fascist.
I think it goes like this. If you think that someone should be shot for their opinions, then don't be surprised when you get fired for yours.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line here. Because these people think that someone should get shot for what they think. When they get fired for saying what they think that that's somehow making them the victim.
That's right.
Interesting.
That's right. All right, guys, man. I tell you, what a great day yesterday was. God bless you. Today is Monday. Karoline Leavitt is coming up next. Where we go one, we go all. We'll be right back.
Love you guys. Hello to all all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20% and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets, only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
To mypillow.com or call 800-873-0478 and use promo code MGSHOW. Use your promo code for the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
Charlie Kirk.
If you knew him, you love him.
Charlie Kirk was an incredible man.
One of the strongest, bravest people that I know.
Charlie has the work ethic of no one I have ever met in my life. I don't think it can be understated, the impact that he had.
One of the greatest communicators of the generation.
He was more than just somebody who would comment on the news.
He genuinely respected and genuinely loved, in a Christian manner, the people on the other side of the table. He didn't hate anybody.
He would give the shirt off a back to help someone that was in need, regardless of their political stripe.
His ideas were about faith, family, freedom.
This young man with an idea that became a movement.
What he built is part of his legacy, but also part of that legacy, more importantly, is a husband and a father.
Irreplaceable. He was irreplaceable.
He's a one of one.
Right? Charlie Kirk was at the tip of the spear. Never flinched, never backed off. He wanted that back and forth, but not out of anger, not out of a place of he wanted to humiliate them or embarrass them or something like that, because he wanted to actually try to communicate with them.
He went into the belly of the beast, he went on these college campuses, and he evangelized.
This man who had a life force that was so much bigger than himself.
If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my mind.
I hope that the story of Turning Point USA, again, we started with no money, no connections, and no idea what I was doing, resonates with some of you.
Government sucks! It's a nonprofit called Turning Point USA.
To despair is a sin. And some people say, oh, Charlie, it's too hard. It's too overwhelming. It's too dark. Snap out of it. You still live in the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. There is still so much to be hopeful and to be thankful for. And we have agency. The globalists are worried that you are waking up. They're worried that their fraud and their nonsense is finally being exposed, and you are at the central nerve of all of that. Ask God how to use you. Find a place to plug in. I am thankful for you. We had a vision because we love the country. Push yourself harder. Here I am. Lord, use me. You guys might remember a year ago, I gave the whole speech of here I am, Lord, send me. And it was kind of this joke that we had as soon as I gave that message.
I remember him getting off stage and I say, honey, do you realize what you just did? He's like, yeah, I just, and I was like, no. You said, here I am. That is a very powerful statement. And God's like, I see you. Charlie is so obedient to God, to the word of God. And it's been so humbling to witness the way that God has used him this year, because he made that declaration a year ago saying, here I am, I'm ready. Wherever you need me to be, Lord, I'll be, and I'm your servant. Just put me out there in the thick of it.
You see, they wanted us to be quiet and afraid and silent and subservient. They wanted us to cower into our corner. But the conservative movement has changed fundamentally. I hope you guys understand this. This is the greatest country ever to exist in the history of the world. And I can say, wow, there was a debate. Is God done with this country? And now I can say confidently, no. God is not done with America. And our best days are ahead.
Thank you, Charlie. All right. So that was a really nice tribute that the White House put out as well, Shitty.
It really was. Thank you for playing that and sharing that with everybody today as we kind of wrap up the morning portion of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now we're getting ready to turn into the phase of what we're going to do about it and how we amplify the message. I did hear yesterday Turning Point will be doing their event in Minnesota just as planned. So they are not going to even skip an event. That is amazing news, to the chagrin of all of the commie Antifa out there. They ain't stopping.
Yeah, we can't stop. We can't stop.
No, and they've got great momentum. It's like he mentions there. I think that maybe one thing that we could take away from this was the example of what he says right there. We started with no credibility, no contacts, and no money. You know what you could do tomorrow? You could start anything you wanted to do with no credibility, no contacts, and no money. I think that little thing right there that he said is so inspirational, especially for maybe younger people, maybe not so much for older people, but you could still be inspired. I mean, it's like we were kind of old whenever we decided to pick up a microphone and start talking to people.
Huh?
I should stab at myself in the back.
Hey, What?
What you say, young kiddo?
I don't know what you're
Get off
talking
my
about.
lawn!
I'd like to also just point this out. This is a Laura Loomer post on September 20th. National Counterterrorism fails to label Al Qaeda as an Islamic terrorist organization. Blah, 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 blah.
Wall O text.
Oh my God. All right. So this is the actual NCTC director, Joe Kent. He's serving as the director of National Counter and Terrorism Center under the leadership of the president and DNI Gabbard. The NCTC's work under President Trump is unassailable, and your false narrative is a distraction. Our recent report is based on verified intelligence from multiple disciplines confirming al-Qaeda's presence and planning all across U.S. cities. The document describes that the current threat from al-Qaeda is in the Arabian Peninsula, referred to as AQAP. As most Americans are familiar with the al-Qaeda terrorist group and its Islamic jihadi terrorist ideology. Al-Qaeda's status as a foreign terrorist organization is ironclad, and our record smashing plots like the Tajik ISIS cell in June 2025 speaks for itself. The fifth page you reference refers to the different categories of targets that most violent extremists would want to target, including AQ. These targets are not unique to AQ. This is not a debate over semantics. It's a war on terror, especially and including Islamic terrorism. We're committed to winning under Trump's leadership. The American people deserve actions, not distractions. Thank you to Director Joe Kent and Shady Groove. We got Karoline coming in right now. You ready?
I am absolutely ready, guys.
Coming in hot.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. Good to see all of you here. I want to start with a preview of President Trump's very busy schedule for the week. Later this afternoon, the president will be making a major announcement focused on the childhood autism epidemic.
Track and follow events for the week, guys. Here she is. She's telling you what's happening for the week.
Alongside his top health advisors who are working to make America healthy again. This will be a powerful display of how the entire Trump administration is committed to addressing root causes of chronic conditions and diseases, embracing full transparency in government, and championing gold standard science. Tonight, the president will depart to New York City ahead of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. He will be joined in New York City by the First Lady. Tomorrow morning, President Trump will deliver a major speech touting the renewal of American strength around the world, his historic accomplishments in just 8 months, including the ending of 7 global wars and conflicts. The president will also touch upon how globalist institutions have significantly decayed the world order, and he will articulate his straightforward and constructive vision for the world. The president will also be hosting bilateral meetings with the UN Secretary General and the leaders of Ukraine, Argentina, and the European Union. The president will also later in the day hold a multilateral meeting with Qatar, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, Pakistan, Egypt, the UAE, and Jordan. After these important meetings, the president will attend a reception tomorrow night with more than 100 world leaders before returning to Washington, D.C. On Thursday here at the White House, President Trump will welcome President Erdogan of Turkey for a bilateral meeting. And on Friday, the president will travel to Long Island for the Ryder Cup golf match between the United States and Europe. This event is one of the greatest sporting events in the world, and it would not be taking place this year without President Trump's help. President Trump signed an executive order last week preventing a strike that would have crippled the New York City area ahead of the tournament, and at the request of the 5 labor unions who all represent workers on the Long Island Railroad. One of the greatest golfers in the world, Bryson DeChambeau, praised the president's critical intervention, saying, quote, "When the possibility of a strike threatened to disrupt transportation and attendance, President Trump stepped up and took the action needed to protect this world-class competition." Thanks to President Trump's decisive leadership, the Ryder Cup experience will be everything fans and the golf community deserve. Again, that's a quote from the great golfer Bryson DeChambeau. Now let's all hope the American Ryder Cup team can take home the trophy. In other news, positive economic data continues to pour in. Brand new polling shows that Americans' faith in the economy and the direction of the nation is back on track and shooting even higher. Home ownership is more affordable, with mortgage rates dropping to a 3-year low. For new home buyers, this represents a $250 decline in your monthly mortgage payment, or nearly $3,000 a year. And President Trump has made it very clear he wants to continue to see mortgage rates decline to a record low, just like they did in his first term. Thanks to President Trump's unleashing energy dominance, gas prices are dropping and Americans are spending the smallest share of their disposable income on gasoline since 2005.
Not in Oregon, but I
Additionally,
digress.
the annual cost to own and operate a new vehicle is down by nearly 6% over the last year. Americans are earning more and they are spending more than ever before. After inflation outpaced for 26 straight months under Joe Biden, real wages have increased nearly every month since President Trump took office, with wages for blue-collar workers rising at the fastest rate in 6 decades. Retail sales are also booming, up 5% over last year, and the stock market is booming, and Americans' retirement accounts continue to do well, with the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all hitting new record highs. In fact, the S&P 500 is up nearly 15%, and the NASDAQ is up more than 21% since Election Day. As part of President Trump's mission to restore America as the manufacturing superpower of the world, he has secured nearly $9 trillion in U.S. investment, nearly 9 times more than Biden attracted in his entire 4-year term, and we expect that number to be upwards of $15 trillion very soon. We're already seeing the initial economic benefits of these investments, with industrial production recently rising to an all-time high. President Trump built the greatest economy in the history of the world in his first term, and we are witnessing him do it all over again. Now, before I open it up to questions, I do want to speak on the heinous political assassination of Charlie Kirk. As President Trump powerfully stated yesterday, this assassination was an attack on everything that makes the United States of America the greatest country on earth. But that attack has completely failed. The heartwarming response from the overwhelming majority of the American people over the past 2 weeks is all of the proof that you need. The assassin who took Charlie's life can destroy flesh and blood, but he can never destroy the values that Charlie stood for. All across the country, millions of Americans have prayed, hosted vigils, attended church services, became politically engaged for the first time, and honored the legacy of Charlie and the ideals he died speaking for. The beautiful memorial service attended by President Trump and 100,000 great Americans in State Farm Stadium yesterday was just the latest example. And Erica Kirk's mercy was one of the greatest acts of grace this world has ever seen. May God continue to watch over Erica and their beautiful children. Unfortunately, there have been some jarring exceptions to this unity. This past Friday, 58 House Democrats voted no, and 38 voted present on a resolution that simply stated, condemning in the strongest possible terms the assassination of Charles James Kirk and all forms of political violence. There were no strings attached to this vote. This was a simple gesture of human decency to denounce political violence. I wish I could say that this was only a fringe group, but 96 votes is nearly half of the entire House Democrat caucus. And they didn't just vote against this basic resolution condemning political violence. A number of those same Democrats took to the House floor to smear Charlie Kirk's name. The man wasn't even buried yet, and Democrat members of Congress were denigrating his memory on the floor of the House of Representatives. This was truly a sad moment and a clear reflection of how radical the Democrat Party has become. Many Democrats in elective office have now been totally captured by a radical fringe of the far-left base who want to dehumanize every person they disagree with. We must continue to call this wickedness out. It's the only way that our nation can heal. For too long, past leaders have offered platitudes while political violence has been allowed to fester and harm innocent Americans. There has been coordinated campaigns dating back years, spearheaded by radical left-wing organizations centered on dehumanizing, intimidating, doxing, and even attacking Americans whom they disagree with. These groups have radicalized impressionable individuals to foment violence. An attempted transgender assassin traveled to Justice Brett Kavanaugh's family home with plans to end his life. An attempted assassin came within an inch of ending President Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania, and on the campaign trail, another attempted assassin tried to kill the president at his golf club in Florida. A left-wing assassin shot United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson right in the back in the heart of New York City. ICE agents are facing a more than 1,000% increase in assaults for simply doing their jobs. Violent radical left-wing mobs engaged in illegal behavior, targeted Jewish Americans, and shut down America's college campuses under the previous administration. Left-wing mobs burned down Tesla dealerships out of, quote, protest of Elon Musk and his policies. In May, a left-wing activist shouting "Free Palestine" murdered 2 innocent Israeli embassy staffers outside of the D.C. Jewish Museum here in Washington. These are just a few examples, prominent examples of the growing left-wing political violence in our country. Enough is enough, and as President Trump has promised, he will directly address the dark sources funding and supporting this domestic terrorism to finally restore order in our country. The American people can expect further, very strong action on this very soon. Everyone, Republican, Democrat, everyone in between, we all deserve to live in a country where we do not have to fear for our lives simply for stating what we believe in. With that, I will take your question. In today's new media seat, we have Monica Page, who is the White House correspondent for Turning Point USA's news organization, on the front lines. Monica, thank you for being here. We're so sorry for the loss of Charlie. I know you work for him, you were very close to him, and we appreciate your being in the new media seat and also your commitment to covering the White House. You are here every day, just like the rest of everyone in this room. So why don't you kick us off today?
Thank you so much, Karoline. I don't think you realize how much it means to me to be here in this seat, especially on behalf of Turning Point USA and Frontlines. We greatly appreciate it. We also greatly appreciate the outpouring of support and just really kind words that we heard yesterday at the memorial service. That means more to us than I don't think anybody ever knows. And even the global support that we're seeing for Charlie has been overwhelming, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you so much. I have 3 questions, if I may, on the horrific murder of Charlie Kirk. Government and local officials said that Antifa inscriptions were engraved in these bullet casings that killed Charlie Kirk. It appears to be a trend, especially after what we saw in the Annunciation Church shooting, Catholic Church shooting. Additionally, Stephen Miller recently commented on the rise in this kind of violence, saying there is a domestic terrorist movement growing in this country. But the president is designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. I'm wondering, what is the approach to holding these people accountable, just to ensure that violence like this just is eradicated moving forward?
Sure. Well, Antifa is going to be designated a domestic terrorist organization. The president intends to sign that executive order very soon as it's drafted, as soon as today, later this afternoon. And this is something the president campaigned on, because we have seen a rise in violence perpetuated by Antifa radical people across this country who subscribe to this group. And unfortunately, it's gone widely uncovered by many in the legacy media. It also went completely ignored by the previous administration. Not anymore. Not only, as you mentioned, were the bullet casings subscribed with Antifa mottos, if you will, in the heinous assassination of Charlie, but there have also been more examples than I could read off for you here in this briefing room today of violence from Antifa. I will just read a few. In July 2025, several members of an Antifa cell ambushed and opened fire on officers at an ICE facility in Alvarado, Texas, shooting 1 officer in the neck. Also in July 2025, 3 Antifa members were charged with assaulting a police officer during a violent riot outside an ICE facility in Portland, which for weeks prior had been under siege from the local Antifa terror cell. In February 2024, a transgender Antifa terrorist detonated an explosive device outside of the office of the Republican Attorney General of Alabama. In July 2023, Antifa members linked to abortionist group Jane's Revenge firebombed pro-life facilities and vandalized churches. In January 2022, a suspected Antifa member was arrested for bringing a pipe bomb to a pro-Trump event. In January 2021, an Antifa supporter threatened to shoot police officers and Trump supporters outside of the Florida State Capitol building. Again, I could continue to list many more examples for those in the room who don't believe this is a serious threat to American safety and our national security, but this administration knows that it is. That's why the president will be signing this order. And we will also be, most importantly, looking at who is funding Antifa and who is funding these other violent left-wing groups that we've seen perpetuate so much crime and mayhem across our country.
Thank you. And Charlie Kirk died exercising his First Amendment right, willingly debating, conversing with everybody and anybody. That was what he did. So what message does this White House have now to all Americans who feel like they are too afraid to express their beliefs, their values, their morals in the wake of such horrific violence?
I think the president has answered this, and I will leave it to his response, Monica, where he so beautifully said, we have to keep fighting. We have to keep speaking up. We have to keep speaking our mind. I know that's what Charlie would want us to do. And we have a right to free speech in this country. The president supports it. It is protected by our beautiful Constitution. And Americans should not cower in fear. They should rise up in courage to continue speaking the truth.
And to end on a lighter note, Karoline, sure. I'd love to know what your favorite memory of Charlie is.
Sure. Charlie was a great guy, and he was, of course, a very influential person in the conservative movement, in the MAGA movement. He was so helpful to the president during the campaign and to all of us who worked on that campaign, that historic campaign. I myself had many great memories going on Charlie's amazing podcast and his show. He was always willing to text people with words of encouragement. In fact, my last text exchange with him was the day before he died. And he was asking for my husband and I's address to send a children's book to our son. And I think that just speaks to the type of person that he was. And I know so many of us here at the White House are going to miss him very much. Thank you. Gabe.
Caroline, thank you. Regarding the autism announcement,
sure.
Why now? Does the administration have new data that hasn't been published previously showing a possible link between acetaminophen and autism?
I know there's been many reports about what this announcement at 4 o'clock will be, Gabe. The president is very excited about this, so I don't want to scoop the president of the United States and our Secretary of Health and Human Services, but what I can assure you is that Robert F. Kennedy and the incredible health team that this president has put together are really viewing things in a much different lens. And they are paying attention to studies and the gold standard of science and research that many in this city for far too long have turned a blind eye to. So I think Americans are going to be enlightened and proud of what they hear later this afternoon, but I won't get ahead of the president on exactly what that announcement entails.
On a different topic, going back to the president's social media post from over the weekend, regarding the DOJ and his seeming frustration that they hadn't taken action quickly enough. I want to point to something that the president said during his inaugural address. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. We will not allow that to happen. Is the president going back on his promise?
No. In fact, the president is fulfilling his promise to restore a Department of Justice that demands accountability. And it is not weaponizing the Department of Justice to demand accountability for those who weaponized the Department of Justice. And nobody knows what that looks like more than President Trump. We are not going to tolerate gaslighting from anyone in the media or from anyone on the other side who is trying to say that it's the president who is weaponizing the DOJ. It was Joe Biden and his attorney general who weaponized the DOJ. Joe Biden used this sacred American institution to go after his political opponent in the middle of an election year. And you look at people like Adam Schiff and like James Comey and like Letitia James, who the president is rightfully frustrated. He wants accountability for these corrupt fraudsters who abused their power, who abused their oath of office to target the former president and then candidate for the highest office in the land. And I think the president is reaffirmed in those frustrations and his hope for accountability by the millions and millions of people who reelected him to this office with a mandate to demand accountability. And the president has not been shy about this, Gabe. In fact, when he traveled to the Department of Justice earlier this year, all of you were there to cover it. He said, quote, "I demand a full and complete accountability for wrongs and abuses that have occurred. The American people gave a mandate to investigate and root the corruption out of our system." And that's what the president wants to see done.
Caroline.
Ed.
On the autism issue again, there are reams of scientific research that suggests there's no clear link between autism and acetaminophen usage. You're suggesting today they may have new information on this. A lot of it, and this entire debate, has the potential to confuse women, especially pregnant women, about what to do. What do you say to those that say what you're doing today potentially just introduces more confusion into the
I think women for many years, in fact for decades, Ed, have been confused by the rapid increase in autism in this country, in the childhood epidemic, that is chronic epidemic, disease epidemic that is plaguing America's youth. Women are confused about that and they want answers to that. And that's exactly what this administration is focused on finding. And before you jump to conclusions based on reports that the White House has not even confirmed, I would encourage everyone in this room to go into the 4 o'clock announcement with some critical thinking skills and with some open ears to actually listen to what the president and his team of outsiders have to say about this. And there will be a number of things that will be announced and discussed. And I think, I know as a mother myself, I speak, I believe, for many mothers across the country who really want answers to what is happening to our nation's children. So again, I won't get ahead of the president, but I think everyone in this room needs to tone down the judgment before you even hear what people are going to say. Sure.
Thanks, Caroline. So on the Holman investigation, can you just speak to, did the president ask the Justice Department to close the case, and does Holman have to return the $50,000?
Well, Mr. Holman never took the $50,000 that you're referring to, so you should get your facts straight, number one. Number two, this was another example of the weaponization of the Biden Department of Justice against one of President Trump's strongest and most vocal supporters in the midst of a presidential campaign. You had FBI agents going undercover to try and entrap one of the president's top allies and supporters, someone who they knew very well would be taking a government position months later. Mr. Holman did absolutely nothing wrong, and even the President's Department of Justice, even Kash Patel's FBI, looked into this just to make sure. They had a number of different prosecutors and FBI agents who looked into this. They found zero evidence of illegal activity or criminal wrongdoing. In the White House and the president stand by Tom Holman 100% because he did absolutely nothing wrong, and he is a brave public servant who has done a phenomenal job in helping the president shut down the border. Mary.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions on far-left violence.
Sure.
The first one, the president said yesterday that the bullet hit Charlie, but it was aimed at every one of us. Do you and your colleagues have a heightened sense of fear following this shooting and this far-left violence we're seeing across the country?
I certainly think there's a heightened sense of awareness by conservatives across the country.
Yeah, and you're to blame, you scotastic terrorists.
But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny the way that they act on both sides? And you're going to see this. This is very amazing for our audience to see this, because I want you to see the way the media are doing and what they're doing right now. They're pretending like they didn't care about Epstein, pretending like they didn't care, but then they think they get something on Trump, then they care about Epstein. You're going to see this constantly. This is the exact same thing you're seeing with the Alex Jones type people, the Candace Owens, the Tucker Carlsons, the Laura Loomers of the world. These people are doing the exact same thing. They scream and yell at you that Israel killed Charlie Kirk for 4 days, and then they come out and say, I never said Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Like that's literally what they're doing.
The internet is forever shady.
It is.
Real quick, before we go back, let's just do this real quick. Ready for, hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One for all the gridiron glory. All of it, all the gridiron glory that you crave, from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays. Don't miss a single moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One. Back to Caroline.
White House, again, as I said to Monica, many of us were personal friends with Charlie and had involvement with Turning Point before we came and served our government in this way. So certainly it's a very shocking incident, and I think, it's very unfortunate that those of us who work in this movement have to think about violence just for speaking our minds and for supporting President Trump.
And as a follow-up on that, I asked the president last night on Air Force One about this pattern of transgender violence we're seeing. Charlie's killer lived with his boyfriend who identifies as transgender, and then we had the Annunciation shooting, the Covenant shooting, all of these incidents. The president said that we're looking into transgender violence. Does that mean the FBI is looking into it? And can you give any more clarity on how the administration is viewing this uptick in specifically transgender violence?
It's definitely something worth looking into, and I think anyone who denies that at this point is being willfully ignorant. And the administration is taking it seriously, all causes of violence, and why these people would be driven to such evil and such hatred? And there's probably many answers to that question, but the administration is really focused on all of them. For individual investigations and cases, of course, the FBI and the Department of Justice are leading those. But as for this overall violence and domestic terrorism that we're seeing, the White House and the president's policy team will be leading the charge, and that really begins with designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. And I can assure you there will be additional actions to come. Sure, in the pink.
Thanks, Caroline. Liz Landers with PBS NewsHour. I just wanted to follow up quickly on something that the president had said yesterday. So we heard from Erica Kirk. She said she forgives the man who shot and killed her husband. And then right after that, we heard from the president who said, I hate my opponent and I don't want the best for them. How does that square with bringing down the temperature of political violence in this country? And then if I could, I had a follow-up on Venezuela too.
So let's take this one too, Shady.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So the president spent millions of dollars because of your fake reporting, your fake whistleblowers, your fake charges, your fake crap, calling him a fascist, calling us Hitler. We're Hitler. We're fascists. You know what? F your fascists, okay? Because he doesn't, President Trump is a competitor. He likes to win. And when people start doing stuff to him like that, he wants to take them out, Shady. I mean, wouldn't you?
It's normal capitalism, guys. That is capitalism. Whenever you are in competition, you want to annihilate the competition. Remember, Jeff, whenever we're talking about all these different stuff, all this stuff on Fridays, we're talking about monopolies, right? What are the monopolies doing? How did the monopoly become monopoly? You got rid of all the competition. However it took for you to get rid of the competition. That is the era, that's the mindset that Donald Trump is born out of. And that is the way that you win in business. And let me tell you, without that mindset, Jeff, there would be absolutely no way we would have a President Donald J. Trump right now, and all of us be pretty darn excited about the progress of the last 9 months. This has been a real progress.
So it's really funny how they say he's weaponizing the DOJ to go after his opponent. They weaponized it, okay? And we need that to stop.
Well, we could also ask an open-ended question, Jeff. Is James Comey running for president?
No.
Oh, okay. Is Joe Biden running for president? Is anybody in the administration from Joe Biden running? Is there a political opponent to Donald Trump right now?
No.
Oh, interesting. So they're basically
Death
saying
spiral.
So they're basically saying if Donald Trump identifies anyone in the Democrat Party as being corrupt or having weaponized government, he is effectively weaponizing government against his political opponent.
Right.
Got it. Boy, that's a heavy lift.
Eggs, Shady.
It's just about the eggs, bro.
Here we go.
All we got.
Let's listen to the answer.
The president is authentically himself. I think that's why millions of Americans across the country love him and support him, including Erica Kirk, who you saw so beautifully was on stage with the president in an unthinkable moment, in the midst of an unthinkable tragedy, and was leaning on the president for support during that time. And he was there to give it to her, as well as the vice president and many other top-ranking cabinet officials. Kayla.
Thanks, Caroline. On TikTok, the deal. How much is the deal? And if you can't give an exact number of how much the deal is, when can we expect to learn how much the deal is being valued at? And then separately, who are the members involved in the deal? Like, can you share any more details there?
So I don't have a specific number for you, nor am I going to confirm the specific individuals and entities in the deal, Kayla, but I do have several details I'm happy to run through for all of you, and the president will be signing the deal, the official deal, later this week at some point. Under the terms of this deal, TikTok will be owned by a majority of American investors and controlled by a board of directors with extensive national security and cybersecurity credentials. In partnership with the U.S. government, Oracle will serve as TikTok's trusted security provider, and they will independently monitor the safety and data security of all U.S. user data on TikTok's platform. Americans' data will be stored securely in the United States without access from China. All U.S. user data will be stored on servers operated by Oracle in the United States, protected from surveillance or interference by foreign adversaries. And the algorithm, I know this is a question many of you have had, will be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance's control. And TikTok will remain globally interoperable, meaning TikTok users in the US will be able to see videos posted by users in other countries and vice versa. While I don't have a number on the specific deal, we do expect that thanks to the president's leadership and the securement of this historic deal, businesses using TikTok will generate as much as $178 billion in economic activity within the US over the next 4 years. So this is great news, not just for the millions of American youth who use TikTok. Their data will be safe and secure with this new deal. They'll continue to use this very fun app. But it's also great news for all of the small business owners who have really been able to make a living off of the use of TikTok.
Does that mean they're going to stop censoring?
That means that we control the algorithm as well, Shady.
I think does that mean MG Show has to go to TikTok?
I hope so. We're there, but we're not there, if that makes sense.
We're a little bit nervous about completely being there.
Yeah.
If I could
Maybe
just
not
get
now.
More as it relates to China on crop prices with farmers. As there's still no official trade deal with China, farmers are getting a little bit antsy navigating, prices being weak and not strong. How is the administration, thinking about farmers right now? Is there anything we can expect to see from the administration on, sort of bailing farmers out should prices continue to not work on their favor?
Well, the administration is completely understands the anxiety of farmers. We're very much aware of this issue. It has been a part of our discussions, the trade team's discussions with their Chinese counterparts. As for any specific actions, I don't have any news on that for you today, but I can fully assure you the entire National Economic Council in this building, as well as our Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, have been talking with the trade team about this. There's been many meetings on this, and they are on the ball, but I don't have anything specific for you today. Sure, Selena.
Thanks, Caroline. But the case against Letitia James was extensively investigated for 5 months, and President Trump's handpicked Attorney General Eric Siebert could not find any evidence that he committed a crime. So is the president saying here it doesn't matter if there's a crime, he just wants his political enemies to be charged?
Well, let me just walk you through Letitia James. Letitia James completely abused.
I mean, did you see that? That question is so freaking ridiculous, Shady.
It's like she's Letitia James's personal assistant.
I know.
You're advocating for something or someone within the question that you're asking. That's not asking a journalistic question. Like, I would like to know who the professors are that teach people in reporter school or,
whatever the hell it is.
Whatever kind of journalism school.
CIA.
To ask questions like this because it's got to be after school. They go through some sort of CIA programming and then all of a sudden it's like,
they get their
Democrat.
4 a.m. talking points is what they get.
Yes, and they're advocating for the Democrats.
And can you guys start freaking reporting the news?
No, they will not do that. That is crazy. No, they call themselves news for a reason.
Another ism, journalism. Kind of like communism, socialism, journalism.
I think that what we're seeing is journalism.
Thanks, Caroline.
Her oath of office. Letitia James was actively and openly engaged in lawfare. You talk about weaponizing the Department of Justice. What was Letitia James's campaign slogan? It was prosecute Donald Trump. She was saying she was going to prosecute Donald Trump before she even knew if Donald Trump committed a crime, which of course we did not. Those are not the words of a serious prosecutor. Those are the words of a corrupt politician who is abusing their power. She actively campaigned on that. She also led the witch hunt, the financial fraud investigation against President Trump and the Trump Organization, and an appeals court tossed that case out, a $500 million civil fraud penalty in August, which was another win for the president and exonerated him of this witch hunt and showed that this is an individual who is corrupt and abused her oath of office. And we also have evidence of her mortgage fraud. An April report from a white-collar financial and property disclosures that raise serious legal questions.
So why won't the president accept the conclusions of his Justice Department to not bring charges against Letitia James? In fact, you had Bondi and Blanche, top DOJ leadership, who were against ousting Eric Siebert, who again
answered that question for you, and the president has every right to express how he feels about these people who literally campaigned on trying to put him in jail, who literally tried to ruin his life and ruin his businesses, and he wants to see accountability for those who abuse their office and abuse their power. And Letitia James absolutely did that, whether you want to admit it or not.
Is that not retribution?
It's accountability.
Thanks,
Jeff.
Caroline. Two foreign policy questions. President Putin has offered President Trump a one-year extension of the most recent treaty limiting nuclear weapons. Does the White House have a reaction to that? Does the president want to accept that offer? And then one separate issue, just generally, what is the president's response or reaction to the number of countries this week who are planning to or have recognized a Palestinian state?
Two great questions, Jeff. To your first question about Russia, the president is aware of this offer extended by President Putin, and I'll let him comment on it later. I think it sounds pretty good, but he wants to make some comments on that himself, and I will let him do that. As for all of these Western nations that are recognizing a Palestinian state, the president has been very clear. He disagrees with this decision. He spoke about that in the UK, standing right next to his friend, Prime Minister Starmer, and he feels this does not do anything to release the hostages, which is the primary goal right now in Gaza, does nothing to end this conflict and bring this war to a close. And frankly, he believes it's a reward to Hamas. So he believes these decisions are just more talk and not enough action from some of our friends and allies. And I think you'll hear him talk about that tomorrow at the UN. Kristen.
Thanks, Caroline. Just going back to this Letitia James story. What does President Trump plan to do if the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, tells him that there is not enough evidence to bring his political opponents' cases or to charge those cases?
That's a hypothetical question, Kristen. That hasn't happened at this point.
But we did see one U.S. attorney not be able to find enough evidence, and now they no longer have a job. Is that something that you would consider?
Look, the president stands with Pam Bondi 100%. He made that clear this weekend. He answered questions from all of you last night on Air Force One. He said the same, and that's how he feels at this moment in time.
Just one more thing on the Attorney General.
Go ahead,
Caroline, would the president support designating Russia as a sponsor of terrorism if it doesn't return kidnapped Ukrainian children? And secondly, we just found out through questioning that Hunter Biden sat in on discussions of his pardons. What's the White House response to that?
Unfortunately, I think it's unsurprising. And it's also very telling that one of the only pardons Joe Biden signed on his way out the door was the pardon of his son. Everything else was signed with an auto pen, but that one was clearly his own signature. To your first question about Russia, I have no news to share with you on that. Sure, in the yellow.
According to media reports, Maduro has sent a letter to President Trump, but President Trump avoided saying whether he has read it. Did he receive it?
We have seen this letter. Frankly, I think there were a lot of lies that were repeated by Maduro in that letter, and the administration's position on Venezuela has not changed. We view the Maduro regime as illegitimate, and the president has clearly shown that he's willing to use any and all means necessary to stop the illegal trafficking of deadly drugs from the Venezuelan regime into the United States of America.
Context of the letter?
Gilbertson, go ahead. Oh,
The admin-
to you and then go ahead. Sure.
Thank you, Caroline. Whitline with Waterhawk News. The admin has openly discussed taking legal action against officials in sanctuary jurisdictions. Just this last weekend, we saw Mayor of Evanston, Daniel Bliss, rioting and protesting outside of an ICE facility near Chicago. Are there plans to start arresting sanctuary mayors or governors going forwards?
Unless they commit a crime, I don't see them being arrested. But if they are violating federal law, if they are violating state law, then of course they should be arrested by state and local law enforcement. If they're violating federal law, then they can expect the consequences of that behavior. Nick.
Thank you, Caroline. Would the president like to see Congress pass a national holiday honoring Charlie Kirk annually?
That's an interesting question. I'm sure he wouldn't oppose such a thing. But you can pose that to him yourself next time you get the chance.
And to follow up too, I know the president is honoring Charlie with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Is there anything else that we don't know of in the works to honor Charlie?
Not at this time, but we do look forward to that Medal of Freedom ceremony very soon. Daniel.
Thanks, Caroline. This past Friday, Adam Schiff, Tim Kaine, they introduced a resolution on Capitol Hill aimed at stopping the successful kinetic strikes against narco-terrorists in the Caribbean Sea. What does a move like this, what type of message does it send to families, specifically families who have suffered at the hands of deadly narco drugs like these?
I definitely think it sends the wrong message. We wish that Democrats would get on board with a very simple idea of ending drug trafficking and securing our homeland. And I saw a report this morning that the Dominican Republic actually helped us seize a boat that was on its way from Venezuela to the United States of America with lots of deadly drugs on board. And so if you actually hear from Caribbean nations in the region, they are thankful and grateful for the administration's efforts, and they're working alongside us to end this plague of drug trafficking through their seas. Sure, Karen.
Over the weekend, Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries sent a letter to the White House asking for a meeting with the president to talk about government funding. Has the White House responded to that letter, and will the president sit down with them to talk about this, given that deadline is now 8 days away?
Discussions are ongoing with both Republican and Democratic members of Capitol Hill. I don't have any meetings or any scheduling updates for you today, but what I will share is that what this White House wants and what Republicans want, we want a clean funding extension to keep the government open. That's all we're advocating for, a simple, clean budget extension, a straightforward, responsible solution to keep the government open to November 21st and allow the full year appropriations process to move forward. And I will add, this is the same budget that the Democrats approved 6 months ago, just adjusted for inflation. And unfortunately, all of a sudden now, they want to shut down the government. And if the government is shut down, it's only going to...
I'd just like to jump in real quick and share with everybody that this is very interesting, like the point of contention that's being made here. So this is effectively they're trying to stop what it was that we initiated with the big beautiful bill, and this is going to finish playing out until November of this year. Then the fiscal year of next year starts, I think, sometime in October or whatever. This is going to start implementing a large portion of what it was that was the legislation within that bill. And so right now what you're seeing is a lot of these Democrats, well, they've got elections coming up. And so what they're doing is they're starting to they're trying to grandstand here and try to act like that there's some sort of, I'm guaranteeing you Thomas Massey's going to get in on this, and probably Rand Paul also, and who knows who else from the Republican side is going to jump on board with all of this. But they're going to all forget of what we put in the big beautiful bill and how that's going to reorganize government spending and eliminate a huge portion of this spending that had to take place in 2025 that won't be taking place in 2026. They're getting ready for an all-out media assault to try to make everybody think that something's happening that isn't. My opinion.
It will be the fault of the Democrats, and it will only hurt the most vulnerable in our country, our seniors, our veterans, our military families, and increasing security for members of Congress, which is something this White House and the administration supports. And if you look back at the statements made by Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries in the past, they too have advocated against a shutdown and for keeping the government open. Democrat Chuck Schumer himself said a shutdown would mean chaos and pain and needless heartache for the American people. He said once avoiding a shutdown is very good news for the country, for our veterans, for parents and children, for farmers, and for small businesses. Hakeem Jeffries also said it's about the harm. Families will be hurt if there is a government shutdown. Farmers will be hurt. Holiday travel will be impacted. Democrats clearly know what the right thing to do is here. It's to join with Republicans to pass this clean funding extension. That's what the White House and the president wants. And with that, we will see you all at 4 o'clock for this big announcement later on. Thanks, guys.
Wow. 4 o'clock can be dangerous for them.
4 o'clock's going to be dangerous today. Wow. They're going to melt down over all of this. It's going to be interesting to see. I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what's coming down the pike here. And not what people were thinking.
No.
Great summation there from Karoline. Thank you so much for her and for all of you to have the ability, to have the stones, if you will, to follow the truth. Not easy, is it? You're starting to realize that this last 7 years was just literally a foundation that we created for what it was that we would be facing. You really thought that the InfoWars nuts were going to stop whenever Donald Trump got elected? Well, we didn't.
Well, I'd like to point out, what have we been talking about every Friday, Shady Groove?
We've been talking about every Friday the creation of the Federal Reserve, the monopoly that was the Federal Reserve of all of the Fortune 500 companies, and the bloodline that wields control of them.
And that President Trump is restructuring the Federal Reserve, bringing your money back into the Treasury, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Crossing the literal Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
I just concluded a wonderful call with the highly respected president of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Kemali-Tokayev. They have signed the largest railroad equipment purchase in history, $4 billion worth of United States locomotives and rail equipment. We need to support our U.S. rail industry, which has been attacked by fake environmentalists for years. Congratulations, President Tokayev, on his great purchase. This country and the world was built on reliable, beautiful railroads. Now they will be coming back fast, Shady.
Well. What an interesting post that is. We're really good at making locomotives.
Wow, Shady.
We make great locomotives.
And we're really good at talking about them.
We are good at talking about them.
Wow. So that post was... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That post was 1315. Let's just go look.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
just
see into that real quick.
A rig system. That's it. A rig system.
1315, and then what? That would be 115.
A rig system. They don't want to turn over documents to Congress. What are they afraid of? Why so much redacting? Why such unequal justice? At some point, I will have no choice but to use the powers granted to my presidency to get involved. And he's getting involved, guys. Wow.
Wow is right. Interesting.
And you want 115?
Yeah, I just got it. It's the map picture. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Yeah, it just talks about coordinating Japanese military restaurant with a bunch of exclamation
Not
points.
really anything there. Interesting.
But Q1970, P equals pay sewer.
Wow. Man, boy, oh boy. It almost feels like we're over the target with all of this stuff some days.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Most days, actually.
It's crazy, guys. Yeah, we are over the target, it seems like, Shady. Like all days, every days, days.
Days. And all of this stuff that's happening, by the way, if you didn't notice, the Fed did come out and cut the rates by a quarter point. And it looks like they're going to have to move even more than that. And it's just really interesting to watch, Jeff, because what I'm seeing is a dynamic. Remember, we've talked about what we got to be talking about is the finances. We got to be talking about the economy. We got to be paying attention to the ground level of the economy and what is actually happening. Not all the stuff that's on TV and not all the doom and gloom stuff, but what is really happening at the ground level. And right now, the ground level of economists in America are pivoting. They're all pivoting currently to support Donald Trump. This is an amazing moment. I know you're not seeing it. I know it's boring stuff to talk about, but the reality of the situation is we have got economists who are starting to agree that the tariff procedure that we're going through is going to right the ship. They're saying that it's going to bring stability. They're saying that it's going to bring a better relationship between America and the specific country that we're interacting with. And it's also going to create, Jeff, it's like whenever you got a friendship with somebody, you always want, there's always something that you're polite about that you don't bring up. There's always something that you're polite about that you don't just throw out there and say. And I really do feel like that what Donald Trump is doing is he is being the diplomat among the financial ruin of America. We were in financial ruin when he took office back in January, and now we have a financial future. We have a golden age that we're moving into, and we have economists who are starting to they're switching from being commies to MAGA.
Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I guess, when a ruling party is ruling, you have to make money and do right by your citizens, and they just go where the wind blows, I guess, Shady.
And they also go where they understand that the public is going to go, right? It's like your common sense can see that people are going to see common sense whenever it's presented to them. And so why would you stand up in public and undermine your own credibility more by fighting it?
That's right. Shady, I want to go out today because it is time to leave. This is called Charlie's Words by John Schneider. Do you remember Bo and Luke Duke?
I do, and this was really good. Thank you, John, for putting this out. And it's an amazing thing to see Turning Point do their biggest event ever 2 weeks after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That, right, my friends, is that's pouring Miracle Grow onto MAGA.
Well, let's do this first. We got another promo for the movie, Shady, that everybody loves. Ever wonder what would really happen if a teenager found a wounded alien in the desert and didn't call the government? In the new sci-fi thriller Xeno, that's exactly what happens. Renee, a girl who always felt invisible, discovers a creature that sees her for who she really is. But the moment she decides to hide it, The black vans roll in. Secret agency, strange signals, disappearances. Xeno just isn't a movie. It's the kind of conspiracy theory, kind of story conspiracy theorists like us all recognize too well. It's got Stranger Things energy and real emotion and heavy dose of they don't want you to know this vibes. Xeno hits the theaters Friday, September 19th. Find your local showtime, xenomovie.com. And remember, not all visitors want to take over the world. This is Bo Duke, John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard, Charlie's Words. God bless you all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Much love.
It's still rolling, so we better go.
Let's go. Hit play.
All proceeds go to Turning Point.
If you saw it, you wish you hadn't. And if you were there, you wish you weren't. The day a single shot rang out and a bullet paused the earth. When they thought it was all over, they were sure we'd give it up. But they were wrong. It's so not true, it's up to us, 'cause we're not through. See what we do with Charlie's words. Charlie's words broke through the barricades. Charlie's words cut through the dark. Charlie's words gave silence people a purpose and a spark. They spoke of me, they spoke of you, they spoke of them and us and we. Charlie's words gave strength to people to get up on their feet and speak it loud, speak it proud, with the voice God gave to them. I tell you now, before we're through, they've no idea what they've done or what we'll do. Me and you, with Charlie's words. A coward shot that was meant to silence echoes now all around the world. Woke and united, sleeping giants. The flag's forever now unfurled, while they laugh and mock our sorrow, thinking tears mean we're not tough. All they've done is fuel our fire. We're rising up to call their bluff with Charlie's words. Charlie's words broke through the barricades. Charlie's words cut through the dark. Charlie's words gave silence people a purpose and a spark. They spoke of me, they spoke of you, they spoke of them and us and we. Charlie's words gave strength to people even when they disagree. To speak it loud and speak it proud, with the voice God gave to them. I tell you now, before we're through, they've no idea what they've done or what we'll do. Me and you, with Charlie's words. This conversation isn't over. This is a movement, not a trend. He gave his life for faith and freedom. Will you, will we, will Charlie's words cut through the dark. Charlie's words gave silence people a purpose and a spark. They spoke of me, they spoke of you, they spoke of them and us and we. Charlie's words empowered people to rise up on their feet and speak it loud, to speak it proud, with the voice God gave to them. I tell you now, before we're through, they've no idea what they've done or what we'll do. Me and you, with Charlie's words. Talking about me and you and Charlie's words.
That's Charlie's Words by John Schneider, who used to be Bo Duke.
How do you want to be remembered? If I die, I want to be remembered for courage for my faith.
God bless you, John. Thank you for doing that. All proceeds go to Turning Point. Get it. Get the single. Go listen to it. Find it. www.mg.show. Boom.